Hello and welcome to my channel Gijo Speaks, and welcome to this video. Thank you for joining in. The question is basically this by Pallav, who asked me, sir, how to select 3 passages out of 4? And I thought that this is sort of a question that everybody has, so maybe I should do a video. My reply to Pallav was this: we'll make a video on this, but I said we need to question the assumptions behind your question. I will answer this question, how to select 3 passages out of 4. But the more important question is, should we select 3 passages out of 4? I don't know. Let's find out. Okay. So we'll have to start with our negative confessions, our presuppositions, our assumptions. I've heard all these, and you might have much more of this. I've heard people saying, my vocabulary is poor. I cannot handle philosophy passages. I always get confused in 2 options. I need more than 5 minutes to read a passage, sometimes 6 minutes, sometimes 7 minutes. I have to read paragraphs twice to understand. I cannot do more than 3 passages in the given time. It just does not happen. Now I'm calling these negative confessions. Okay, let's start addressing each one first. And this is very important because this is going to form a base for the session and the question, how do I select 3 passages out of 4? Let's start with the first one. My vocabulary is poor. First of all, what vocabulary? What do you mean poor? Are you telling me that in cat passage, when I read the passage, if I don't understand 1 or 2 words, entire passage is over? Are you telling me the cat passages have got really hard vocabulary? When you say vocabulary, are you talking about words like palpable, or are you talking words like this terminology, lexicons like epistemology, deontological ethics? What are we saying? Vocabulary is poor. What does it mean? I cannot handle philosophy passages. Every time I see a philosophy passage, something happens to me. But philosophy is a broad subject. There could be sort of easy. I can give you easy passages on philosophy. Why are you saying that you cannot handle only? Are you telling me that if the passage is hard, the questions will also be hard? Are you telling me if I understand key ideas of the passage, okay, a passage has got multiple paragraphs. Every single paragraph is a collection of sentences, right? Every paragraph has a collection of sentences. Now, each of the sentences has a particular function. One of the sentences may be making a claim. Some claim one sentence is making. Another sentence is explaining that particular claim. Explaining it. The third sentence is giving an example. And the fourth sentence explaining the example. If you understand this one sentence, this key sentence, I would have understood the paragraph. So it is not necessary that I should understand every single detail. I should understand the key ideas. If I understand the key idea of the particular paragraph, I will handle the questions. Are you telling me that if I don't understand every single sentence, every single word, I cannot handle the passage? I always get confused with 2 options. Always. Okay, if you have this presupposition, next time when I look at a question, my mind is always telling me, mind is already accepted, I'm going to get confused. Obviously, it materializes. What is in your head, it's going to come out. And how will you approach the questions? I need more than 5 minutes. Okay, I've decided. I need it. I don't know. I have to read the paragraph twice to understand. So what do you do in the first time when you read the paragraph? No, I'll not understand this. I've got to read it twice. I cannot do more than 3 passages in the given time. If this is your starting point, this will reflect in your preparation, and your preparation becomes this. You talk about something that is negative. I can only do 3 passages. And somebody said you have to do all the 4 passages. So we tried to do 4 passages. Obviously, the first time it doesn't work out. Then we use that as a premise, as a justification to say that I can only do 3 passages. So we'll never try. And then we'll worry, okay, if I'm going to do 3 passages, I have to get every single question correct. Otherwise, it's going to be a problem. Oh, let me focus on it. So let me read the paragraph twice. Let me take more time to read. First things first. Let's remove all these negative confessions, right? And start with a blank page. Start. Let's just understand what does I have to do in that 40 minutes, and how do I maximize my score in that 40 minutes? What matters is marks matter. Let's say marks per minute matter. I've got 40 minutes and I want to get something like a 40 marks, right? I need 1 mark per minute. Every question carries 3 marks. I need 1 mark per minute. That's all I care. It doesn't matter where I'm getting these marks from. This is what I need. This is all I care. Right? So let's start. So CAT in 2020, 2021, 2022 had 4 reading comprehension passages, 8 verbal ability questions, and we were given 40 minutes. When I'm recording this particular video, we don't know what's going to happen in 2023. It doesn't matter, but let's assume that the CAT is going to be this. I've got this 40 minutes. Okay. Let's do some basic reasonable assumptions. Reasonable assumptions are good assumptions, right? I've got these 8 VA questions. I'm making an assumption that I probably require 1.5 minutes on an average per question. 1.5 minutes per question. Some question may take 1 minute, some question may take 2 minutes. Maybe paragraph summary, one question you could knock it off quickly. Paragraph jumble maybe took about 1 extra minute or whatever, but on an average will take about 1.5 minutes, which means it's possible that I should be able to do this VA question in about 12 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes. So this is it. What I'm left with is the remaining 28 to 30 minutes for solving the 4 RC passages. Now, I have choice number 1. I'm going to solve all 4. CAT has given everything. I will solve everything and see what happens. Which means I've got 7 minutes per passage. Oh my God. Alright, so I'll spend on an average. Maybe some passage took 6 minutes, one passage put 8 minutes. I don't know, but on an average, you need about 7 minutes per passage on an average. Okay, but now I'll solve 3 passages. I'll only solve 3 passages. I need on an average 9 minutes per passage. I am from the previous stage, from 7 minutes per passage, I'm getting extra 2 minutes in the passage. Something magic is happening in this extra 2 minutes. I don't know. Something amazing is happening. In the 7 minutes, oh shucks, I can't solve it. But I just need the extra 2 minutes. In the 2 minutes, magic is going to happen. Something happens. That's what you're doing. You're also telling. CAT is like, come here, beta. Come here, Betty. See, I really want you guys to come to IIM. So we have an examination called CAT, okay? In this, I'm going to give you 24 questions in verbal. Please take this 24 question and solve, please. You're like, check. No, I don't need your 24 question and all. Why did you give 4 passages? Why? You keep 1 passage. I don't need your passage at all. You keep it. I will not even read the passage. I will not even look at the question. I will not do anything. I will only do the remaining. Okay. Well, I'm saying nothing wrong in that. I'm sure that you cannot solve all the 40 or all the 24 questions. You may leave some questions. Okay. How do you leave the question is very important. Let's move on and talk a bit about the score that I need. This is a VA percentile rank versus the scale score. So here is 75th percentile, 80th percentile, 85th percentile, and so on and so forth. I've taken till 99.5 percentile. This is a VRC section to a CAT 2022, 2021, and 2020. Here is 2022, 2021, 2020. What you see in the bracket is a number of questions. Essentially, if you need 18 marks, each question carries 6 marks on an average. So I need 6 questions net correct, right? So you probably see that in some cases, for example, if I focus on the 97th percentile, the scale score of CAT 2022 was the lowest, which means comparatively probably that was more challenging. The scale score of CAT 2021 was the highest, and the scale score of CAT 2020 was in the middle. So for the sake of discussion, let me just take CAT 2022. So this is our score, and there we know that 16 questions of reading comprehension, 4 passages, 4 questions each, 4 passages, 4 questions each, and 8 verbal ability questions. 3 of these questions will be paragraph summary, 3 of these questions would be paragraph jumble, and the 2 other questions likely going to be paragraph completion, all paragraph based questions. Okay. Now let's assume that I want to hit the 97th percentile, 99th percentile, which means out of the 24 questions, I need almost half the questions correct. 12 questions net correct. So obviously I'll make some mistake, but net I should get 12 questions net correct. So that is roughly about 50% of the total number of questions. That means in verbal ability, I need to get 50% in net correct, and reading comprehension 50% in net correct. I'm making simple assumptions. It's not necessary. Sometimes I might get two questions correct from here, 10 from here. Maybe I'll get 6 from here and 6 from there. All this is possibility. But I'm just saying that on an average, I should get about these many questions correct. Okay. So far, so good. You're with me. I'm with you. Okay. Now let's look at the next stage. What is my game plan? Okay, I have game plan number 1, which is I will evaluate everything. Game plan number 2, I don't have time to do everything. I will have to make a very difficult decision, which is to leave one RC passage completely. I will do 3 RC passage and all the VA questions, which means I'm evaluating 20 questions. Okay. I have the third category where for some reason I just cannot do more than 2 passages at all. Each passage is probably taking me close to 12, 13, 14, 15 minutes. So which means I have to chuck out 2 RC passages completely and do the VA questions. So each of the RC passages has got 4 questions, 8 questions here, 8 questions here. I'm looking at 16 questions. And I've got a fourth scenario where I don't like VA. It is anyway useless for me. So I will only look at 4 RCs. And I'm going to look at 16 questions. These are the 4 scenarios. Simple scenarios. Okay. Now I've looked at accuracy level 75%. So I basically went like this. If you look at a passage, you've got question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4. 75% accuracy, it's pretty high, which I'm getting 3 questions correct and 1 question wrong. Right. And if you've got VA questions, out of the 8 VA questions, I'm going to 6 questions correct and 2 questions wrong. Okay. Per passage this. Or maybe sometimes what happens, which is the 50% accuracy scenario, sometimes I'll get 2 questions correct and 2 questions wrong. We have seen this. And we have got a next scenario, which I look at a 40% accuracy, which means out of the 4 questions, I'll get, so if I look at 1 question out of 4, 1 correct and 3 wrong, my accuracy out of 4, I got 1 question correct. That is actually 25% accuracy. Right. I've not calculated the 25% accuracy. The 40% accuracy really sort of vague. We are getting down 25% accuracy. I've ignored it. I basically looked at these scenarios. Okay. So I looked at 3, do the scenario. I've also considered a case where my accuracy is sometimes even less than 50%. Okay. Now let's look at scenario number 1, the hero scenario. The heroes are saying, if I'm able to hit 75% accuracy on a great day, which is amazing, 3 questions, 3 out of the 4 questions correct. If I'm hitting 75% accuracy, I'm going to get a score of 48, 99.9 percentile, which is awesome. Okay, maybe on my bad day, 50%. Oh, I'm only hitting 24 score, but I'm still getting 93 percentile. Okay. My really horrible scenario, anything less than that, if I go down to 40% accuracy, I'm just going to get 15 score, I will hit the 75th percentile. So this is going to be slightly unlikely to happen. I'm sure that you will do enough to be here in these 2 scenarios. I'm guessing, I'm not too sure. And our range is anywhere between 90, likely range is 90 plus. It's a likely range. Our accuracy reduces. When you lower percentile, for small drops, your percentile will jump. Jump will be huge. So anything less than 40% accuracy, your percentile will be very poor. So this is my sort of position that I'm in here. Okay. And if I look at 3 RCs plus VA, if I'm able to hit 75% accuracy, I will hit a 99 percentile. Okay. That's probably where I'll reach. Anything more than 75% accuracy is absolutely amazing. I'm not saying it will not happen, but it's actually awesome if you can get more than 75% accuracy. On my bad day, I'm going to hit 85 percentile, which means I am safe to clear I am Lucknow cutoff. Okay. Other colleges cutoff will be 80, some colleges 70. On a really bad day, I might get about 70 percentile. So I'll probably be likely going to be 85 percentile plus. That is where I'm going to be in 2. 85, 90 is where my score fluctuates. If you're doing 3 RC and VA, if you're taking the mock test, you've seen sometimes your score is 85 percentile. Sometimes your score is 95 percentile. You're like, oh, too much of fluctuation. Basically this to this, that's all. And 75% accuracy is 50% nothing. Or in some time I got 3 correct, 1 wrong, 75%, 2 correct, 2 wrong, 50%. That's all. The percentage looks a huge jump, but basically it is only this. Okay. Now we look at third scenario. Somebody is doing 2 RC plus VA, only looking at 16 questions. And if you're able to hit 75% accuracy, after doing that, the best that you can reach would be 97 percentile. And if this happens, you'll probably miss the cutoff of many of the colleges. Some colleges basic cutoff. And then anything less than that, it's going to be problematic. So this is like a 75 percentile plus guarantee scenario. I'm sorry, not saying guarantee, where you're doing a 75 percentile strategy. You're only doing 4 RC. You're only looking at 16 questions. The scenario is very similar to the earlier scenario. 3 and 4 scenario is more or less, the outcome is going to be more or less the same. So what does that tell me? In scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3, scenario number 4. First thing is that if you are someone who are in scenario number 3, and if you are telling me you are basically in scenario number 3 and can aim 75% accuracy, which means you have the capability of getting 3 questions correct out of 4 questions, then why are you not doing one more RC? What? I mean, so what are you telling me? So I'm basically guessing that, let's say VA you take about 12 minutes. So each of these RC, I'm focusing on RC. RC you are spending for 14 minutes per RC on an average. Here you're looking at 7 minutes per RC. Here you're looking at 9 minutes per RC. Superheroes. The entire 24 minutes, 4 RC. 40 minutes, 10 minutes per RC. Okay, now let's just look at this. On an average is 10 minutes per RC. This scenario number 2 is 9 minutes per RC. What are you doing the extra 1 minute? And between this and this, are you doing research and development in RC passages? But why is this happening? Why? What are you doing here? So my first suggestion is that, first of all, at least be in position 1 or position 2. 3 and 4 just doesn't make any sense. Don't tell a lie again and again. I can only solve 2 passages. Please don't stop telling that lie to yourself. If you keep telling that, and I'm sure that is happening to some of you, if you keep telling that, you will accept that reality. And that is a negative reality you already accepted, and you will not be able to overcome that reality. It is possible to solve 3 RCs plus VA. It is also possible to evaluate 4 RC plus VA as well. Okay. So let's be in position number 1 or position number 2. Now, moving on. What do we do? Now, let's look at RC. Remember, I've got 8 question net correct, which is 50% of the question net correct, right? Net correct, which means I need to get that much of net correct. If I get, I'll probably hit the 99, 97, 98, 99 percentile, assuming that VA also went reasonably well. Your option number 1 is the 3 RC. People say that 1 RC I'll completely discard, which means I have mentally decided in my head to solve 12 questions. And since I've decided to solve the 12 questions, I've already rejected 4 questions. I've just rejected it. Beginning, before the test started, before the paper started, before I clicked start, I have already rejected 4 questions randomly. I have not looked at the question. I have not evaluated. I have rejected, which means in your head, you are telling yourself that because of that decision, that extra time that I have, that 2 extra minutes that I get, in that 2 minutes, I should be able to get the accuracy, which is about 75%. I'll get 3 out of the 4 questions correct. 9 questions correct out of the 12 questions, and then I'll get 3 questions wrong. I'll hit the score, which is good. That's what you're telling me. Now let me give you another scenario. I will solve only 12 questions, but I'll reject a question in a slightly different fashion. I'll reject this question from passage 2, rejects from these 2, and reject 1 from here. I'm still doing only 12 questions. You tell me. This one, where I'm rejecting everything. I'm rejecting 4 like this or rejecting 4 like this. Which is better? I don't know. You are basically telling me here what I'm doing. I'm not even reading the passage. I'm not reading the passage. I'm not looking at the question, which means I'm saving the time and I'm spreading the time across these 3 passages. Here, you have to read everything, then I decide. Which means I have to read the passage, every single passage. Okay, alright. Which makes sense, I don't know. To answer that sort of question, right? Let's look at your strategy again. Option 1, we are rejecting this passage completely. Which means you're basically making this assumption that the passage that I've rejected have got hard questions. Okay, the green is easy, yellow is medium, red is hard. So in this logic, your assumption here, I have to question the assumption that you have. Your assumption here is that when I'm rejecting these 4 passages completely, I'm basically telling myself, this is the scenario that I'm visualizing. I picked up the easiest passage, I picked up the next easy passage, This passage is tough because all the questions are tough. Let's first question this assumption. What is a difficult, people say that there are difficult passages. What does that mean? What does that mean when you tell that the passage is difficult? Logically, tell me, what does that mean? Because the passage is there and then followed by question 1 plus question 2 plus question 3 plus question 4. In each of these questions, there is option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4. Option 2, option 3, option 4. Option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4. Option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4. A passage difficult means what? The passage is difficult to read, hard. But what about the question? What if the question is very straightforward? Now, okay, sir, this question was inference. This question was inference. This question was inference. This question is inference. Therefore, I decided inference stuff. What is inference? What does inference mean? Inference is still something that is true based on whatever information the passage, right? Second of all, don't these options matter? Option has got 1 right answer and 3 wrong answers. Let's assume that the question setter created such a stupid wrong answers that was so easy to eliminate. What does difficult passage mean? What if the question setter gives you a goddamn easy passage, very straightforward question, but the 2 options are created and 1 option was correct, but the one of the wrong option was so appealing. So appealing. And another option was also very, very appealing. And it was 1 option was easy to eliminate. And we still got confused. Would that not make the passage tough? Which means I'm spending time not just reading, right? I'm also spending time evaluating the answer choices. And the biggest time waste actually happens in this evaluating these answer choices. So when you tell me a passage is difficult, I don't know what that means. Because, please do understand, level of difficulty of questions within a passage vary. Now, you're only seeing this passage. Now, the passage is manageable, passage is hard. You're making a decision about a question. Whatever is a passage, whether it's manageable or hard, even the hard passage, I can still understand. I may not understand 100% of the stuff in the particular passage. I may not understand. But I'll understand the key idea. The question setter of the CAT never asks some random question. It will be based on the key ideas of the passage. Even the inference question. If you understand the key ideas of every single paragraph, you can connect everything together. That is good enough. Look at every single CAT passage from 2017. Every single passage, tell me if I'm wrong. Every single question only going to key idea. They will not they will not ask obscure questions. What happens is that then there are questions. I'm saying within question, how did the question setter create those answer choices? Now this is where we really want to be. We love to be here. Very easy passage and easy trapped. Easy passage, tough trapped. This is the death. This is where the your death happens. You read the passage. Passage was so easy. I went to the question. You keep fighting with the question. Oh, I should get this question. I'm getting question. This is the big problem in life. Hard passage, tough trap, easy. We'll be a smart boy, but we'll escape fast. We'll escape. Hard passage, we'll just leave. And this is a great place to be. Hard passages with easy trap. This is a big problem area. And this is a huge problem area. So where you're spending that 9 minutes per passage, I can vouch for the fact that out of this 9 minutes, the extra 2 minutes that you spend would be spent on an option like this because you read the passage. You understood the passage. You are thrilled. You came to the question. Straightforward question. You look at option number 1. Wrong. Option number 2. Looks like the answer. Option number 3. It also feel correct. Option number 4. Okay. Option number 4 has most. So we can eliminate. 2, 3. What to do with 2, 3? Okay, I've read the passage. I've already ditched one passage there. I've completely left the passage completely. Okay, what should I do? Let me go back and read the passage, but I don't know where to go. I think it is in paragraph number 2. No, maybe in paragraph number 3. Found it. Thank you so much. Okay, what does the paragraph say? Wonderful. Options. Oh, what is the paragraph saying? What is the option? What is the 2 minutes is going here. From that 7 minutes per passage, where you could have done 4 passages, the extra 2 minutes that you have, you are spending the 2 minutes in getting one negative 1 mark after spending 2 minutes. Does it make sense? I'm just raising questions. Raising questions. So reality is your easy, medium, hard will look like this. There's a couple of easy, one hard, couple of easy questions here, one medium. This passage had whatever questions were manageable. When I say hard, medium, easy, about 70% of the people who got the question correct. Out of the total number of people who took the test, 70% got the question correct. Medium, let's say, is about 40 to 50% that range. Approximately hard is anything less than, let's say, 30%. Okay. Now, why can't I do this? I read passage number 1. I will read at the pace of my comprehension. There is no point reading it faster. I cannot suddenly do rap. No. I will read the passage. Read for structure. I will read every single passage I know has got sentences. And every single sentence has a different function. Function of sentence 1, function of sentence 2, function of sentence 3. And out of this one sentence would be a hero sentence. Which is where the author is making the claim. Other sentences are supporting details. I will read it, but I'll retain. And from here, after this, I will retain that one sentence. I could retain on a piece of paper by writing 6 to 8 words or retain my head. I'll go to paragraph number 2. Again, paragraph number 2 has got the sentences. And each of the sentences has got different function. But the paragraph number 2 in itself, one hero sentence will be there. The key idea. I will go to paragraph number 3, I collect the key idea. And when I'm doing this, I can connect this. So I've got these ideas and I've got the structure. And out of this key idea, one of the key would be the main idea of the entire passage. And I've retained this information. I've read this. Systematically, I'll do this. Then I go to the question. When I go to the question, I don't care. Inference, who cares? Whatever is there. It's an open book exam. Everything is going to be there. I've heard people giving advice. First of all, you should look at which question you should start first. Thinking is a waste of time. First question, let's do the first question. Read it, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's say that I took But this passage was slightly tough to read. I took 5 minutes. Usually I can read in about 3-4 minutes, but this one took a little time. 5 minutes. Question number 1, it was like keyword sequence. The 3 answer choices were so stupid. Some stupid example was there. This question I knocked off in about 20 seconds. And I have to now decide whether I should recall information from the passage. First I read information. In the question, should I recall? Should I go back to the passage? This did not require. This question came off in about 20 seconds. Second question, took a little time. I got confused. Now I'm making a decision. What do I do? Okay, I got confused between 2 answer choices. But then I said, okay, I know where to go to the passage. I went to the passage, came back. I'm betting on this particular answer choice. I took a call. It took a little time. I took 1 minute for me. Third question, again, one of the answer choice was saying, pick me, please pick me. It was an inference question. But one was clearly saying, pick me. It was based on the key idea of paragraph number 3. I picked it. Let's say it took another 20 seconds. Fourth question was looking very easy. Okay, I looked at the answer choices. I looked at the 4 answer choices. I eliminated 2. I got confused. Okay. Then now I'm thinking, okay, where do I get this information from? I don't know where to go in the passage. If I go to the passage, I'll waste time. Let me just chuck this question. I'll just leave this question. Leave for later. Leave for later. L for L. If I have time in the end, I'll come back. So I escaped this question in about 30 seconds. And I moved to the next passage. Okay. Yeah, what has happened? 5 minutes reading the passage because I took a time to read. 1 minute, around 2 minutes here in navigating the question. Because I smartly left this question, I moved on to the next one. And I kept on moving. That's what happens for people who decide that they will evaluate everything. Because marks are going to come from questions. The problem happens for people who are deciding to leave passages. Let's say you left this passage for some reason. Let's say you left this passage because the passage was hard. The question options were easy. And now what is going to happen is that since you already left, now you're forced to answer all these questions. You're forced. You have forced yourself to answer these reds. And you're forced yourself, and you need to spend this 2 minutes, 3 minutes here, 2 minutes, 3 minutes here, and then you come and tell me, sir, I require 9 minutes per passage, 10 minutes per passage. Leave that question, move on, no. Another scenario, when you decided I'm going to leave completely 2 passages, I will read the passage once, then I'm absolutely forced to get every single question absolutely correct. Because I've left everything. And I'm thinking the only way to survive if I've got every 8 questions correct, we'll do extra research and development. Even if let's say mark, okay, I have to absolutely make it certain. Let me read the passage twice, read the passage thrice. Let me read every single sentence twice. I have to understand every single sentence. That's a problem. Think about this. Your question. I'll come to a question. How to select 3 passages out of 4? I don't know. I don't know. See, the passage there's a passage. There is question. And there are options. I'm guessing the initial period of time, I'm not going to look at an option. I can't read the option. I cannot evaluate the true level of difficulty of a question unless and until I come to the options. I cannot understand the true level of difficulty of the passage when I get there. So eventually you are looking at either questions, you'll make whatever rule, inference. I've heard people saying the except question are difficult. Why is except question difficult? Each of the following is true except 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 statement is true, 1 statement is not true, and we have great elimination skills. I have to pick the one that I have to eliminate. It's so easy. Why is it difficult? I don't know. Some people say. Passage, philosophy, na? The moment I see Immanuel Kant will do some Kant in this passage, okay? I will not read Immanuel. The moment I see Kant, I won't read only. I don't know what logic you use. But I'm guessing that you should look at the passage and do. So whatever it is, you'll spend some time doing it. I don't know how many minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, I have no idea. Because I've never suggested, I don't know. And then out of the 28 minutes, you have 25 minutes, 8 minutes per passage. Why do you do this? Why? If at all you are trying to do this, 1, 2, 3, 4, you are only rejecting one passage. No. First you look at the first two passage. Okay, passage 1, 2 passages. Out of which, decide to do one of them. Okay, because between the two. Quickly look at 2. Okay, I will start with this. You did 2. Okay, then you evaluate 1 against 3. Between this, which looks whatever is the logic that you want to use. Do this. Let's say you pick 3, and look at the last one between 1 and 4. Okay, I probably will do 1. Do like this. Well, I don't know. Or 4 passage out of 4. This 7 minutes is not. You don't require 5. Even if let's say you take 6 minutes per passage to read. One passage took 6 minutes. Are you telling me that you will not be able to navigate 4 questions? Maybe you will chuck 2 questions out. You only solved 2 questions and you got 6 marks, 1 mark per minute. So you would have done in about 7 minutes. I don't know. I think the key thing is this should be our strategy. Keep it simple, soldier. I like use the word soldier. Some people call it silly. Keep it simple. Okay. What is I will read the passage for structure. Whatever passage that is there, I will read it once. I read it well. I read like a champion. I will know that I don't have to look at every single detail. If some words here and there I don't understand, I'll carry on. I'll get an understanding. I will retain information. And then I go to the question. Each of the question independently I'll evaluate. I will not think that just because I read the passage, I have to solve the question. It's like if you don't solve the question, see if I leave this question, the passage will feel so bad. No, I read the passage just now. If I do nothing, we are here to flirt. We don't have any relationship, long-term relationship and all. It's not what we are trying to do. 16 question, we'll just flirt. Meet once in a while, 1 tea, hi, bye. That's all we are here. So each question, individual decision, and learn to leave. That's it. When you say leave, I can come back later. What's stopping you? If I have time at the end, I'll come back. Who's stopping? And then if at all I'm getting confused, sometimes what happens, okay, question number 1 got confused, question number 2 was confusing, question number 3 was confusing. I could only solve 4. Okay, I'll move on. I'll not unnecessarily spend time in any other question. I'll just move on to the next question. I'll carry on. All right. I got 3 marks. 3 marks is good. Maybe not. There are the 3 questions wrong. I'll just move on. So that will be my strategy. So I know that I've not answered your question at all. How to select 3 passages? Because the fact of the matter is, I don't know. I just don't know. What is the logic? You select the passage. If at all you're planning 3 passages, you select the passage on any logic that makes sense to you. If I have to give an answer to that question, maybe I'll decide based on the passage. Because I'm assuming if I understand the passage, probably the chance of me getting the question correct is better. So that's what I'll do. Alright, I hope this made sense or did not make sense. I have no idea. Please do subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe, and you can check out my course, which is VARC 1000, amazing course for you to improve your CAT VARC score. I will be your teacher. We'll have great time, and you can learn from me. I know I'll also learn from you. Okay, anyways, goodbye and good luck. See you in the next video.